Sorry.
Speaking of taking out the trash and speaking of baseball, I have some that I have on my own to-do list, if that's all right. Can I air that right now?
I would like nothing more.
Back in May, and this completely slipped through the cracks, back in May, right before we did the Dodgers show, I thought, it wouldn't be funny if I wrote to the Dodgers and a couple other baseball teams. Just some ridiculous thing to see what would happen, see react, then read them on the air. And I finally, a couple weeks ago, got the Dodgers. I wrote a letter to the Dodgers. I'm going to read it right now to you. And they finally got back to me. This is going to be a bit because I thought, all of them would send some letters and we can do different things. And I would have some sort of correspondence with the Dodgers or Phillies, whatever it is. And oddly enough, the one team that wrote me back were the Dodgers. And so this is what I wrote back in May 20-something I wrote. And I went under a different pen name. And here you go, to Dodger Stadium, 1000 Elysian Park Avenue, L.A. 90012. To whom it may concern, I have an issue which I feel needs immediate attention. I am a lifelong Dodger fan who loves going to Dodger Stadium. And something happened last Sunday that may irrevocably change that devotion. On May 23rd, I went to Dodger Stadium to watch our team face off against the Detroit Tigers. Interleague play. Didn't vote for it, but I'll gladly reap the benefits. Thank you. Section 121 orange seats. I was having a lovely time, even though our boys were losing, when I realized I had to go to the restroom. So I moseyed over to the nearest bathroom and stood at a urinal to do my business, where I immediately noticed another male Dodger fan standing at the urinal next to me. He was leaning over and, quote, sneaking a peek at, my swimsuit area. This fan had on a Dodger ball cap, blue jean cutoff shorts with brown belt and silver belt buckle, and a mustache. Excuse me, what are you looking at? I asked him. A perfect game, he responded. Then he winked and laughed at me. Can you believe it? Well, rather than beat the guy up, he probably would have liked it, I quickly zipped up and left the stadium. Perhaps forever. Now, I don't want to tell you guys how to do your job, but why do you let perverts like that into the park? And what happened to dividers between urinals? I thought all my problems would be over when you got rid of that smelly trough. Boy, was I wrong. Dodger Stadium is a temple, but so is my body. And I don't like people gawking at it unless they ask me first, with flowers. I apologize for wasting your time with such indelicate subject matter, but I thought you should be aware of...
This is a letter you wrote to the Dodgers.
To the Dodgers. But I thought you should be aware of, A, whom you're calling fans these days, and B... what a joke your BBS, basic bathroom safety rating is. I give it a 76 out of a possible 100. Sure, that's 15 points better than Fenway Park, but it's a far cry from the 97 Kauffman Stadium received during my last visit. By the way, I heard the Dodgers lost Sunday's game 6-2. Please be on the lookout for a letter I'll be writing regarding our bullpen. Sincerely, Dan Penny. And then I wrote my address. P.S. My favorite Chavez Ravine moment ever was on April 18th, 1989, when Tim Belcher pitched a 4-hit 6-0 shutout against the Cincinnati Reds. That son of a bitch even had a hit in the game. And that was my letter to the Dodgers.
Yeah, but you actually dashed this off.
I actually dashed it off. You're looking right now. I'll put this up there. We'll take a picture of it, of this envelope. And they finally got back to me a little while ago. Dear Dan, on behalf of the Dodgers, I want to thank you for your letter regarding an incident that took place during the Dodgers-Tigers series. Whether you're a fan of the Tigers, Dodgers, or a fan of baseball, your role is instrumental in the success of the players on the field and growth of the front office. With that being said, your feedback is greatly appreciated. Please feel free to contact me should you have any other concerns and or questions. Thank you, and think blue. Sincerely, the fan services, blah, 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 blah. That was going to be a bit that was going to last us the whole season, and they just now get back to me a little while ago.
Wow, that is fantastic. I love the idea of them sitting there reading this letter in the office. They have to have that hung up on the wall.
They have to. Don't you think they have to have that? The basic bathroom safety?
This guy has something called his own BBS rankings. That's terrific.
I thought that'd be a great idea, but I mean, all the other ballparks, I did to the Phillies, I did to the Mariners. Speaking of each, I did it to a couple of these, more of these stadiums, and not one of them responded, except my own Dodgers.
Who, so who responded to that? Was that Joe Torre? Who did that?
Oh, I wish it was Joe Torre. This was, what do you call it?
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, Joe
Craig
Torre.
Robbins, coordinator, fan services.
Now